Okay, here we go with video number 83. I'll just do the first two. I put all the work on the board, and I did a check down here for the second one, just trying to straighten things out a little bit and before we move on. And I'm moving it a little to the left, a little to the right, so you can see everything that's going on here. So let me do number one. And number one is just asking you to subtract this from this. The only point from polynomial math perspective is that you're subtracting an algebraic expression. This is your algebraic expression. So you're subtracting it. So what does subtraction mean in polynomial math? That's what they want you to learn. It's maybe a slightly new idea that you subtract. What you subtract from something, you take the opposite. Whichever positive is negative, whichever negative is positive. And you can see that playing itself out here. As I move along, you see the FOIL. You should check to make sure. You should be able to do FOIL by now. And that would equal all of this. And this is what I'm minusing, so I left what I'm minusing inside the parentheses. And then I combine the like terms as we go along. And then I take the opposite of both of these guys over here. And putting like terms together, I end up with this. You should be able to follow what I'm doing. It's on the video now. You can always pause your video to see what you're doing here. But this would be expected. It's a typical standard question in polynomial math. So I subtracted one expression from another. Verbally, I remembered to put the negative sign and take the opposite of everybody. Should have come up with what I came up with. Number two is shaded area. You're familiar with that as well. So the shaded area is the big triangle minus the small triangle. I took the liberty of checking to make sure that we got the answer correct. I'm not asking you to check, but checks work here. Again, in elementary school and maybe 6th and 7th grade, we only cared about numbers. And now numbers are being replaced little by algebraic expressions. So that's what's going on here. The length times the width minus the length times the width gives you the shaded area. And you can follow the math that I'm doing here. Let me open it up a little bit so you can see over there. As I go left to right, I'm just foiling again, putting together like terms, taking the opposite of everything in the second expression, having put together the middle terms as we normally do when we're multiplying linear binomials, getting this, okay, which is 5x squared plus 6x plus 8, and then multiplying this times this, adding it back, because my thinking is the blank triangle plus the shaded triangle has to equal the original triangle. And when you compare this with this, you see that the whole math thing works, okay? So that's what I wanted to do. I'm going to cut this video off. I expect you to be able to do this, or at least communicate with me if there are any problems doing this kind of math. You're expected to be able to multiply, put together like terms, subtract, especially the new idea, and there we go with number two. Okay, so I'll close this off, and we'll say 1 through 2 here as we add on to this. There we go.